I've always lived here in Orange. Actually, raised up in a little cottage about a mile out of town, like going across to the railroad track. And then over the years, then we moved up on a place called, like up in the mountain. Well, it's not really a high mountain, but they just call it up in the mountain. Over the years, then we moved from there down to in the bottom, because we always call it the bottom, to the family home. And then after that, I lived several years in Barbersville, Virginia, and then I moved back from Barbersville, Virginia, into the town of Orange.
What are some of your earliest childhood memories?
Spending time with, a lot of time with my brother, and then the others came behind us. It was like 8 of us. I got 5 brothers and 2 sisters. Spending the time with my mom and dad and my brother, that's 2 years younger than I am, and we just had a lot of fun. And growing up, I was playing with dolls and he was playing with his little toys and playing with our neighbors, and we just had a good old time. And spending time with mom and dad, and sometimes mom and dad would take us to the train station back in the day, and we'll catch the train and go into Barbersville to visit our grandparents.
You take the train to Barbersville?
Summer Sundays, when our relatives was unable to pick us up, we would catch the train from the Orange Depot and go into Barbersville. I believe the train had stopped somewhere up there near a store.
Somerset?
It was like, I believe it was like Mary Lou's. A woman named Mary Lou had a store back in the day. It's somewhere along in that our uncles would pick us up and take us to our grandmother's house. But the train stopped somewhere along up there.
It was a flag stop.
Yeah. And it was really nice. I missed that train ride. I wish they would bring it back, you know.
Well, yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
And I would sit out the window and look out through the woods as the train would take us, you know, up through Barbersville, and all the landscape and all the stuff right now is, you know, it's although it's cleared away now with homes and stuff, but I still remember the landscapes and stuff. So it brings back a lot of memories.
So your grandparents lived in Barbersville?
Yes.
Wow.
My mother was raised and born up there.
Now, what did your parents do for a living?
Well, my father worked at C.R. Butler for many, many years. He was the breadwinner of the family, and my mother was a stay-home mom and took care of all of her 8 children. And but he worked there for many years. He was faithful, and he took care of all of us. And it was many nights that we would catch the cab from the cab station in Orange down at Railroad Avenue, Simon Coleman's cab and Mr. James Washington cab, and he would come home in the cabs and take us shopping. And on Friday nights, he would bring us Cracker Jacks and groceries, and we all go shopping together. It was a lot of fun.
Now, you went to school as a child here in Orange?
Yes, I went to Prospect Heights Elementary, and then I graduated from Orange High.
So what year did you graduate from Orange County High School?
1972, yes.
So that was right at the time of the integration of the public schools.
Yes.
It was had just happened.
Yes, when I was going, it was integrated when I was going.
So when did you start working for the silk mill?
It was 1972 right after I graduated from high school.
You worked for the silk mill?
Yes. Right after I graduated from high school, I went right into the silk mill. Yes, I worked from the silk mill from 1972 to 1987, I believe it was. Yes, they gave me the groundwork for for what I'm doing now, and I never will forget that job. It was a nice job, and I enjoyed my work, and I was doing something like running the redrawing machine, where you put down yarn, and the yarn was a pretty green yarn. You put it down and run it over top of bobbins to fill up. Then they had some machines called the 7C machines and the spun spinning, and I think the yarn was white yarn that had flyers on them, and you fill the bobbins up, put the bobbins down and fill it up, and run them on top of bobbins to be filled, and it was all different color yarns. And then some of the women had, I think, a loom, big loom, where they would nothing but threads everywhere, and if a thread will break, they will go into it and repair it. It didn't look like it was such an easy job. I mean, but those women, they knew what they were doing, and if it would be easy if you knew what you was doing, but if you didn't know what you was doing, it wouldn't be so easy. But they took pride, and we all took pride and joy in our work and whatever we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
We took a lot of pride and joy in what we was doing, and they knew what they were doing.
So what were your hours like?
I think I worked 2 shifts. Was one shift, I believe, I was working from 2 to 10, and then worked another shift, was like 10 to 6 in the morning. Over the years.
Wow. What was the management like there? Were they good to the workers?
Yes, I had real nice supervisors, and I can recall some of the names. I had a supervisor named Curtis Wolfrey, and then there was a manager named Joe Velasco, and then there was a manager named Mr. Surge, but I think Mr. Surge has passed on and Mr. Wolfrey has passed on. I'm not sure about Mr. Velasco. And they were real nice people. They treated the workers good, and they helped the workers, the women, with our jobs. Because most of the men, there was more women worked down there than men, but the men would put the racks up on the machine and take the racks off for us to run the material, and most of the men worked in maintenance and maybe like security. But I can't recall a lot of men working down there. It was mostly women, a woman's thing.
So what were they making there at the time when you were working there?
I want to say $2 to $3, something like that, maybe an hour. I'm really not sure. I can't recall, but But even though it was like that, things wasn't expensive as it is today, and we made it through. I mean, the pay was, to me, it was all right. It was good, and I brought home the money and provided for helping my family out and provided for myself, and I did pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good for me. This is a rewarding job for me. I enjoyed it, and the place was quiet, and everybody got along with one another, just like family. And I have a lot of memories about that place, and I was sad when they closed it down.
Were you there when they closed it down?
Yes, they told us that we would be no longer working there anymore, and everybody just, I guess it was a sad day for all of us.
So they just gathered everybody together and just made the announcement?
Yeah, they told us, I think ahead of time, that what would happen. But like I said, I missed it. I don't have anything bad to say about it.
Mm-hmm.
But the place, a job, it was just a good experience for me, and it laid the groundwork for me. I'll never forget, that was my first job, and laid the groundwork for what I'm doing now. If it wasn't for the silk mill, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now.
The synthetic materials, I think, is the reason why the silk mill closed. The synthetics replaced it, and that's why it closed it.
Yes, because a lot of things now, these days, is more synthetic and polyester and nylon
Right.
than anything. and silk was a great product. When it closed down, I got a part-time job working at Food Line on Pam-Taps Mountain for a whole year. And that was in 1988. And then American Woodmark called me at the same time. And so I was employed at American Woodmark in 1988. And I still kept my part-time job at Food Line, traveling back and forth to Charlottesville, working on Pam-Taps Mountain. And then later down in the road in 1988, I got transferred working at the Food Line store in Orange, to be closer to my job. And so I also kept that job. I kept the job in Orange working at the Food Line, as well as the American Woodmark job at the same time.
Wow, you were a busy person.
And I did that for 30-some years.
Wow.
But I'm still working at American Woodmark, but I was working for Food Line for 30-some years, as well as, working at American Woodmark.
Right. What were you doing at American Woodmark?
I was feeding wood through a molding machine and doing different other tasks over the years, handling a lot of wood material, and doing different variety of tasks. And I remember traveling back and forth and then I would come back down the road and go into work after I'm done up there.
You said that you went to Piedmont,
Virginia College.
Community College in Charlottesville.
Yes.
And you got a degree there?
I got a certificate in administration of justice.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So you were thinking about becoming law enforcement or?
Well, I was thinking about it, but I really didn't get into it. I guess I sort of changed my mind along the road somewhere. But I don't know. But it was a great experience for me to do that, and I enjoyed taking the classes. I was going like part-time. I got a 4.0 average.
Wow.
Yes, I did good.
Oh, yeah.
And they asked me how did I feel about that, because they only give awards, I guess, to the ones that go, permanently, not the temporary ones. And I will say maybe, I think maybe the ones that go part-time maybe should be, recognized for that too, but it didn't matter to me. I really just enjoyed taking the classes, and it was just a good experience for me to be able to do that. I was going back and forth, traveling back and forth, and working and going to school at the same time. And there was a lot of traveling back and forth down the road at night, but I made it through. Well, I kind of. Well, I wouldn't say regret. I liked what I did, but I guess for some reason I just, like I said, I don't know what happened. I just changed my mind down the road. But, things happen sometimes. But nevertheless, I still enjoyed what I was doing.
Yeah.
Yes, still enjoyed what I was doing.
Now, during this period, did you get married?
No, I never was married.
You were never married?
No.
Do you have any children?
No.
No, next. But you seem to really stick with the job that you have. I mean, you will go from 1972 all the way to 1988 on the same job, and then 1988 to the present in the same job. That's pretty good.
Yes, I try to do my best to stick to one job, as long as I can. I always believed in that. I don't like floating around.
So what is your church that you go to?
Emmanuel Baptist Church in Orange.
I know you were working hard, and sometimes you were working 2 jobs and also going to school, but did you ever have any time to have fun?
Yes, I've done pretty much what I wanted to do. I like singing. I've sang in church, and then I've sang for the street festival every year. Then I sing for the Boosters Park celebration every year, and singing for the Christmas parade before they open up. I begin to do that now.
Well, you sing the Star Spangled Banner?
One year I did, but I sang mostly inspirational songs that'll help people along the way in life that's going through something. I started out singing with a gospel song, then I would sing like inspirational songs behind it. It's like the secular songs, but the inspirational songs.
Wow. And do you do this with no instruments behind you? Do a cappella?
Yes, I do it a cappella.
Could you give me an example?
Okay, let's see. When you're weary, feeling strong, and tears are in your eyes, I will dry them all. I'm on your side. Oh, when you need a friend, and friends just can't be found, and troubles all around, like a bridge over troubled waters, I will lay them down. Like a bridge over troubled waters, I will lay them down. Sail on, civil girl, sail on by. Your time has come to shine. All your dreams are on their way. Oh, see how they shine. Oh, when you need a friend, I'm sailing right behind. Like a bridge over troubled waters, I will ease your mind. Like a bridge over troubled waters, I will ease your mind.
Right. Now, are you living alone?
Yes.
Okay. Do you ever get lonely?
No. I stay busy, and I like living by myself, and I like doing stuff on my own. And I like to spend time with people. Sometimes they're making people happy. I like doing the reason why I like doing what I'm doing, because I always like the kind of person that like to make an impact on somebody's life. If I can help somebody in life along the way, by wearing a T-shirt or singing a song, then that's what I'll do. Because sometimes I'll get these T-shirts, very inspirational T-shirts, saying that I'm blessed. Jesus is the light, and God's love is the only one's love that we need. And people would stop me on the street and ask me, tell me, lady, I love your T-shirt. I can't recall how many people have told me that every time they see me with a T-shirt on. Say, I needed to hear that today. They say, I really needed to hear that. I said, keep on doing what you're doing. And I enjoy that. Like I said, if I can minister through a T-shirt, minister through a song, then that's what I'll do.
Well, that's very
and that's what makes me happy in life. Just by making an impact on somebody's life.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
You know, I always ask this of every person that I've interviewed. I ask them, I said, what advice would you give the younger generation?
The advice I give to the young generation would be always put God first in your life, because if you don't, you'll fall short along the way. Always, no matter what you do, always put Him first, and always listen to what your parents tell you to do. I mean, you know, if you have good parents and they raise you upright, and then you know you'll want to follow that path. But some people in life may not get that opportunity that everybody else get. But you do what God puts in your heart. If God say, well, that's one of the commandments anyway, to obey your parents. And if you do that, no matter what else goes wrong in your life, some children might not have a good home life or whatever, but still you have to listen to what God tell you and obey your parents. No matter what. And if the children's not acting right, or if the parents is not acting right, I mean that's on them. But you still have to do your part and do what God wants you to do. And let's stay close to God, stay close to family, and just do the best you can. And everything else will follow behind.